Bo used a slow count in today.
Yes, I did. And I did because I listened back, just like you've been listening back.
Nice.
And there was a thing.
Cool.
So I decided to use it.
Welcome to another episode of Two Tunes Podcast.
It's a laid back edition.
Sure.
It's sweeps.
Sweeps episode.
Yeah, it's the sweeps episode.
So we're bringing in some special guests and like bone it like extra.
It's on a very special episode.
Yeah. On a very special episode of Home Improvement. So we got a theme today.
And it's
theme songs from TV shows specifically.
Are there themes from movies?
Yeah.
I mean, kind of.
Yes.
But there really haven't
Star
been
Wars.
good ones. Yeah. Okay,
So
name something that
John
was not
Williams.
Not John Williams and in the last.
All the Marvel movies. Yes. They
God.
all have a theme.
But they're not like amazingly memorable. Like
Didn't say-
you're
that
walking,
wasn't the criteria.
You're right. You're leaving the theater and it's like, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, let's singing the thing. I think the last one was Batman.
Batman 89.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty memorable, yeah.
Yeah. But
I think the Spider-Man ones by Danny Elfman.
yeah, sing it.
No, I'm just saying in general.
Sing.
People that are not me.
Could you hum a few bars? The answer is no,
No.
you can't because it's not that memorable.
Yeah. The Wonder Woman one was pretty.
It's memorable because it was the only one that was different. Like you're right. That I agree.
Yeah.
That is memorable, but it's also really different from everything else that's in that.
In what?
In not in Wonder. So the first time you hear it is in Batman v Superman, right?
Right. Dawn of Justice.
Donald Justice.
Donald Justice.
And it's the only thing. It's an electric guitar. There's no electric guitar the whole. And then once she appears, you're just like, oh my god, the music's different and energetic, and it's like that's cool. And you're like, nee, 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 nee. Right.
By the way, how cool would it have been if we had no clue she was in that movie?
Well, yeah,
Because it was in the trailer when she shows up.
yeah,
That would have been so much cooler if we had no idea.
yeah.
Okay, Batman
Movies-
versus Superman, whatever. Okay.
Movies and TV shows are better when you don't know things,
True.
but that's the marketing jobs. That's the marketing position's job is to tell you what's in the movie before, so
Yeah.
you go see it and you think
But-
you're like.
But I
that
think
it's
if you
different.
like build intrigue, it's better than like giving away the whole thing. And I know some studios are better about it than others, but
Yep.
yeah,
Okay. Well, anyways, we got TV theme songs.
TV theme songs.
Which I think TV theme songs are like a lot better.
Well, and
Because-
they're meant to be listened to repeatedly. They're
There was there's an episode of Patrick H. Willems presents thing, and it was talking about opening sequences. So like credit sequences, and they've kind of like gotten rid of them, and they're just like now the post. Like there's like the first half,
yeah,
and it's like all this really cool animation is now at the end of the movie, which
Right.
basically just shows what the movie was.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be cool if they brought that back, and like TV shows do this all the time, and it's because it's kind of like setting up the mood for the show,
yeah,
which is what we're going to do here. So this is like the theme song, which at one point it kind of like went away, and then it's coming back and goes away. In your case, this guy did everything, all the hits.
yeah, for sure.
So we'll start it off.
So I picked the song "Nothing's Gonna Stop Me Now," as opposed to "Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now," which is a different song. Written by, you have the guy's names pulled up, Jesse Frederick and
Yes,
something Salve.
Bennett.
Salve. They wrote the theme song, and they also wrote the theme songs for Full
Wait,
House.
but what show are we talking about?
Oh, it's Perfect Strangers.
Did we talk about that?
No,
Didn't.
but it is from the show Perfect Strangers.
Yes.
It is, in my opinion and others' opinions, the greatest TV theme song of all time.
Okay. I know the show. I've never actually I know the premise of the show. I don't think I've seen an episode of it.
Oh, I definitely watched it when it was out.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
on Hulu now or HBO?
Maybe. I hope it's on Hulu because I have that. I remember liking it fondly.
But what
I'm sure I'd get more of the
okay.
humor now than when I was like 5.
So going back, they wrote this theme song. They wrote
Full House.
Yes.
Which iconic. Step by Step.
Yes. And then the
I
spin-off
remember liking it. And the
of the
spin-off
show.
of this show, which is the Family Matters theme song.
Which I
Another
didn't know
iconic
that.
one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was that, like,
It was like two characters that were kind of on the show. It's like, let's do those people.
Yeah, I think it was Carl Winslow's wife. I can't remember what her name was. I think it was her wife, like, worked in the newspaper or whatever that the thing was set in.
Yes. Because I was watching Family Matters. I was going back and watching some of that. And then, like, in the first couple episodes, she gets laid off from the newspaper. But then, like, comes back as, like, a security guard or something. I forget
I don't
what
know.
it was.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And, yeah. So that's Family Matters.
Yeah. But it's interesting. These guys wrote these, like
hits.
hit after
72
hit,
second hits.
Yeah.
Actually not. This just says that.
This also, so if you read, like, part of the Wikipedia article about the show, and then of course, like, the song itself, it mentions about how it changed lengths in different seasons, which is, I think, pretty common amongst certainly longer running shows.
Yeah.
And sitcoms especially too. Like, you start out where you maybe have, like, the much longer intro sequence, and then it gets
shorter
and shorter. And yeah. Pretty common. But they just need more space for advertising. They need more space for the show itself.
Lost is the thing that started that.
You think?
Yeah.
What did they go to?
It was just that. It was just that. Like, that was the theme song, because it wasn't a theme song. And then
did they have one originally?
No, it was just that.
Oh.
But what I'm getting at is that's the show that said, hey, we don't need, like, this giant thing
intro thing.
Just, like, get us into it. And then some people were like, no, we need that thing. But that was kind of like, because a lot of TV shows got rid of their theme, but then some people, like my composer, were trying to bring it back.
Right.
Anyways, Perfect Strangers.
Cool. Let's get into it. Yes.
So why is this, like, amazing?
It's just a good pop song. It's catchy.
Just like Strangers.
It feels really well composed too for being so short. Like, it feels like a solid 90-ish second song.
It's kind of like every so many measures, like, you got to change, right? You gotta, like I think they may have had a formula
maybe
for this, because it's like, okay, there was the verse, that was the pre-chorus, and then here's the chorus.
Yeah.
Right? And we're already halfway through this song.
But, like, it totally stands up, I think, as its own thing. I almost wish it was longer. Yeah.
Or no, this would be like
this
the
is like the darker part. Yeah.
The post chorus.
Yeah, but it gets like a little darker, little minor chords. And like,
yeah. I'm like, actually, because look what I'm watching. By the way, how can our listeners listen to this?
YouTube. It's the only place. It's not streaming anywhere. Although there are covers.
Yeah, there are covers of this.
And this version is, again, slightly longer. This is from season 1, which it was longer. And part of that was because the whole opening credits sequence shows, is it Mark? Lynn Baker is the actor, but I can't think of what his character's name is.
I don't know.
And then Bronson Pinchot is the other actor, but he played Balky Bartakmos, because you can't not remember that name.
Yeah.
But it's basically that, like, you know, Mark Lynn Baker's character, he's like leaving home and he's going to the big city and he's going to have the big time job and whatever. And then his cousin Balky ends up coming over from, like, it's like Mypos or something. It's basically like Greece or the
Does this
Eastern
show
Europe,
remind you
Europe,
of, like, maybe this is the precursor to Borat?
In a way, I think.
Like, if they made it now, it would be Borat and some, like,
and his, like, just normal American
and
cousin.
then Ali G, right?
Yeah, but Ali G's, like, out there too. It'd just be like a normal person.
No, it would be both. It would be that actor playing both roles.
No, I know. But, like, he would just be like himself.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, this is my weird cousin Borat.
Yeah.
And we both work together, live together, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just such a good song, man. It's so catchy, and, like, it works really well, I think, for a theme song. It almost kind of doesn't like I think there's several shows you could stick that on also.
Oh yeah.
Because it's just like a
Because it doesn't really.
empowering and like nothing's gonna stop me. I'm gonna follow my dreams and whatever. And like then that's kind of what they're both doing. Like that's the whole premise. You know, they're both following their dreams and whatever. But
It doesn't tell you, like the lyrics of the song aren't related to the show.
not specifically. That's what I mean. Like it
Yeah.
is in a broad sense, and especially if you just watch that original season 1 like opening credits where you see, why can't I think of that character's name? Mark Lynn Baker's character, you know, leaving home and going to the big city and doing all that stuff, and then you see Larry Appleton. There we go.
There you go.
And you see Balky. It is Mipos leaving his, you know, family behind and coming to America and everything. And you see him like come on the boat and yeah, let's take it, man. It's really good. Now I want to go back and watch that show. Like I said, I remember liking it. This show was also part of the original TGIF, I believe.
Yeah, the original.
Yes.
Cool.
Also, it says it originally aired in 1986, which means I wasn't watching it
When it came out,
initially. I started watching it at some point, though.
it was till 93. 2000. It's 93.
First season in the spring of 86, so that means it probably got like a short first season.
Yeah, it was a mid-season replacement.
Okay. And
I did
then
look at that. There were
yeah,
six
and then moved to-
episodes.
Wednesdays on prime time in the fall of 86. Remained there until 88, and then it was moved to Fridays. And then it says it found its niche there as the anchor of the original TGIF. Can you remember what the original TGIF lineup is?
No.
I want to think if Full House probably. This.
Maybe.
So like this, Full House. Ooh, what else would it have been?
I don't know. We'll look it up in the break.
No, but I want to try to think if I can remember.
Let's
those
have him
two.
think while it's going on.
Family Matters maybe.
No,
Because it might have spun off, but it might have spun off though at that point.
at some point. Yeah.
And then what would be the fourth one?
I don't know.
What would it be, Bo?
I don't know.
All right, I'm gonna click and look. I want to say Dinosaurs, but I think that maybe came later.
Or it might have been on a different network.
Nah. All right, TGIF started in '89.
Well, then this wasn't. I mean, it became.
All right, so there's like a pre-TGIF. Oh, I forgot about that show. Full House, Family Matters, Perfect Strangers, and one episode of Free Spirit, and then eventually Just the 10 of Us. I remember watching Just the 10 of Us.
I don't.
You don't remember that show?
No.
Dinosaurs came in the next iteration.
You're hilarious that you're thinking of this.
That's amazing.
Now all these are owned by Disney,
Yeah.
but not really.
Nah, yeah, I'm not sure. Cool. Now I'm just like lost in this.
Yeah. Welcome to the 90s,
Yeah.
kids.
Cool. Well, I don't have much more to say about that.
Yeah, I have
But-
one thing to say about the actors.
Yeah.
So Mark Lynn Baker,
Yeah.
in a couple years ago, I guess, he played himself in a TV show called The Leftovers.
Okay.
Do you know the premise of The Leftovers?
That people like get raptured or whatever, and then
Kinda.
sort of, or something like that.
Kinda.
Yeah. Okay.
So like 2% of the population just disappears.
Uh-huh.
And his whole show, like everybody who was on, like in the TV show, in The Leftovers, he's playing himself.
Yeah.
He was saying all this stuff, like, you know, it's like, oh, you know, blah blah blah. I was taken, or like thinking that he was like special in some way, because everybody else on the show was raptured, like of Perfect Strangers, and it's just in the show, and it's weird. It's just like, why did you use that reference? Why did you use him?
Yeah.
And say that, like, yeah, the whole cast of Perfect Strangers,
Except for him.
like went away, and then he becomes like this depressed guy. But it's like it's not even like the whole, like, he's not a main character. He's like in 2 episodes.
Okay.
In like the second or third season,
Okay. Interesting.
which is just like, what? Why? This doesn't make sense at all.
Is that one of those shows that like starts out really good and then kind of falls off at the end?
Yeah, I'll say yeah.
Okay.
Because it kind of ends weird.
I feel like
Well,
I've heard
it's-
people
it's-
talk about that show and like, I mean, I think it only did like 3 seasons or
They
something.
did
didn't
3
it?
seasons. Well, they ended it the way they wanted to end it.
Okay.
But it was created by Damon Lindelof,
Uh-huh.
who is great at creating television shows, not so good at ending them.
J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, just like J.J. Abrams. So, which I mean, I guess that's what you do in television is like you start a thing and then you leave, and you're like, okay, cool, keep it going, kids.
You run the show for a little bit, Even The Office, that's what happened.
Yeah,
like the guys who started that, then they went and did Parks and Rec and other stuff. And
well, sitcoms are different though because you can just be like, this is the premise. I created the premise and created the characters. But shows like Leftovers or Lost, like you want a definitive end.
Yeah.
And there is a definitive end, but it's like, well, what was the show about? Mm-hmm. But apparently the third season, they wrote it as like backwards. They're like, this is where we want to end up. How do we get here?
Yeah.
Which is, I think that's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
Like, how do we get from point A to point B, but we want to start with point B. So how do we get there? Kind of like writing 4-part harmony.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, cool. We're just going to go straight in.
All right.
To the next one. So mine is not a sitcom.
Mm-hmm.
Mine was a show on Stars called Black Sails.
Pirate show, right?
It was about pirates.
Nice.
And the music was written by Bear McCreary.
Was it a good show?
Yeah, it's really good. It's really old. Yeah. But I still never I think I moved when it was on. So like when I move, like things kind of get lost in the shuffle. Like you don't have enough time. You're figuring out. So like 8 years ago it was on.
Sure.
Or maybe longer. But so I had to figure out like I still have to watch like the last season. Mm. But it's about pirates and it's really cool. And it takes place in some pirates are like real pirates and then others are like not. But like it's really
like
good.
Historical fiction.
Yes. Yeah. But takes place in like a pirate town and like explains what pirates are and why they exist. Right? Like because they were part of the British Navy, but then they basically all got fired. It's like, we're not paying you guys. It's like, but you said you'd pay me. It's like, yeah no. So they're like, all right, then I'm going to rob you.
Yeah.
King of England. But Bear McCreary, he started out with Battlestar Galactica. He's done Outlander, The Walking Dead. Does movies. Another really cool show that was on Stars, Da Vinci's Demons. So
I wanted to get into that. It was like free one time, and
it's pretty good.
Watch it.
He also did Human Target, and Human Target was on Fox. He did the music for the first season and kind of brought back that like adventure theme song type thing for that show. But this one, so for Black Sails, he wanted to. Most of the things that he writes, the show influences him and like what instruments he's going to use. It's not like, well, I use orchestra, so I'm going to use the orchestra. It's like no. It's like, well, what if we made all the music that what would pirates be playing? It's like, well, of course they wouldn't have a piano. So what would they have? Oh, they'd have a hurdy-gurdy because it's portable because we're going to be singing these stuff on ships. So a lot of the instrumentation, not all of it, but a lot of the instrumentation is based around things that you would actually have. So castanets, violin, hurdy-gurdy as it is. And he learned how to play the hurdy-gurdy.
Which is what, for those that don't know?
Oh my God. It's so like, okay, so it's about the size of like maybe a ukulele, violin.
Yeah.
It has a couple strings, and it's kind of like a violin mixed with a piano, and I'll explain that. So you have 3 strings that go across, and it's like this wheel that vibrates the strings. So you have a crank that moves along and just vibrates these strings. A couple of the strings are drones, so they just keep...
Like a sitar does.
Yeah. Well, not like a sitar, but yeah, a drone. And then you have one string that then is touched by keys, and it's not necessarily like on a fretted guitar. So like you'd press it and it would press into like a fretboard. It would just push the string and stop it there, and you could push it even further, and then it would push the note out of tune. So you could it's set up like a piano, but you only play it with one hand because you're cranking it with the other. And there's a whole YouTube thing about like the hurdy-gurdy that he did, because he's like, what, look, like there's like the clacking of the keys, like it has that sound, and like it if you turn it in a certain way, you can get kind of like rhythmic with it. Did I send you the longer version or the shorter version?
The one you sent me is like 3 minutes.
Okay. We're going to play that one.
Okay.
So I need to...
I will say...
Yeah?
It just gets a little old after 3 minutes. It's not a bad tune. It's just...
I like it.
What is the, like...
The version, the main title is like 1:33.
That makes sense.
And this is 3:18. So we're going to play the 3:18 version.
Cool.
So here it is. That's the hurdy-gurdy, but it's like kind of like sticking.
Yeah.
And he's doing it somewhat in a stuck way, but then he's using a piano, but he's kind of using it as like a drum. And then that's the hurdy-gurdy of the melody part. So it's another track of that. There's actually bones being played. And weird small drums that aren't just like, well, that's like a snare drum.
Yeah.
Right? Castanets. More hurdy-gurdy. But like the clicking, it might be just the keys being played. And he's super big into metal as well. So like
I get that for sure.
Pirate metal.
Yeah. Now, does it do like the first minute and a half of the thing, or is it kind of like a cut and paste?
I think that this, like the voices are definitely part of the theme song.
Yeah.
It might just be like cutting pieces back a little bit, not doing the same thing over and over again.
That's the thing. It feels like, I think that's part of the... Because there's a lot of repetition. Like he does a section and then does that section again, essentially.
And there's not a electric guitar solo in the theme part. Or if it is, it's not as long as this, because this is like the bridge, right? And it's just this guitar solo,
right?
Electric guitar. Hurdy-gurdy solo, which that's like pressing the key in and out, right, to get that vibrato.
Yeah.
That touching it just like as it's cutting. And you definitely have like a drum set in this version versus what would be on the TV version. Plus the opening sequence is really cool.
Yeah.
Because it's like a decorative ship is like being made out of like, it looks like oil, but it might be like thought of as blood. But it's like just this elaborate like carved ship. But all computerized.
Yeah.
There's a video of him playing this, like just like a montage of it. He was super big into like making YouTube videos about all the things that he would make. And on that, he like has like, I'm doing like metal solo face on.
While playing the hurdy-gurdy.
Amazing. That's going into the next piece. Anyways.
It's cool. And like it, if you just played that for somebody, you'd be like, seems like a pirate show or a pirate movie or something along those lines.
So that's it, man.
Cool. Theme songs. TV theme songs.
So the last 2 weeks, we didn't introduce ourselves. Did we do that today?
I don't know. Probably not.
So this is, if you made it this far, 24 minutes in, this was the Two Tunes podcast, and I'm Bo.
I'm Brandon.
And if you'd like to get a hold of us, you can reach us at
Two Tunes Podcast on Instagram, Two Tunes Podcast Facebook, Two Tunes Podcast at gmail.com through the email. Find us on Discord.
Yeah. There's a link in the description, and there's quite a conversation going over there about everything and anything. Not anything. but a lot of stuff. So hopefully, if you dug these songs, you could share your favorite theme songs with us on the Discord or anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you guys. Subscribe, like,
share,
smash that like button.
smash it,
Crush it.
smash it.
All right, bye guys.
Bye.